Ever wondered what the weather will be like for February 2025? Well, let's get ready to dive into a whirlpool of meteorological marvels. We're going to explore the weather patterns sweeping across different regions of the United States, scrutinize the potentially game-changing influence of the Greenland block effect, and navigate through the anticipated week-to-week changes. We've got an intriguing month ahead, folks, full of climatic twists and turns. So, fasten your seatbelts and stay tuned to find out. To kick things off, the first half of February is going to be warmer than usual for most of the East and South. We're seeing a trend of above-average temperatures in this region. This could feel like an early spring for states in the mid-Atlantic, Southeast, and Texas. Imagine while we're still in the heart of winter, these areas could be enjoying some spring-like warmth. It's quite the contrast to the chilly conditions we typically associate with February. Yet, not every region will be basking in this warmth. On the flip side, we're expecting a cold front to sweep through the northwest, northern Rockies, and northern plains. These areas will be getting a dose of winter's chill, courtesy of Western Canada. So, while folks in the east and south may be shedding layers, those in the northwest and northern plains will be bundling up to brace for the cold. But let's not forget, weather is an ever-changing phenomenon. It's as fickle as it is fascinating. We're dealing with a multitude of variables that can alter conditions swiftly and significantly. So, while the first half of February may start off warm for some, we must always be prepared for the unexpected. After all, we're only in the beginning of the month, and there is a whole lot of winter left to experience. But remember, weather is unpredictable and things could change in a heartbeat. Hold on to your hats because there's a big shift expected around the middle of the month. Imagine this. Meteorologists are tracking a possible Greenland block. That's a high-pressure system that sits over Greenland and can mess with the jet stream, that river of wind high in the atmosphere that guides our weather. When this block sets up, it forces the jet stream to take a deep dive south like a roller coaster, and that can pull much colder air into the east and south. So those regions enjoying a warm start to February, they could be in for a surprise. We're talking about a potential drop into freezing temperatures. Brace yourselves because one day you might be out in a t-shirt and the next you're bundling up in your winter coat and gloves. But that's not all, folks. As the east and south cool down, the west could start to warm up. Yes, you heard it right. By the end of February, we could be looking at a cold east and warm west scenario. So keep those winter coats handy, you might need them after all. It's going to be a wild weather ride and we're right here with you, tracking every twist and turn. So, what does all this mean for you? Well, let's break it down. February 2025 is set to start on a warm note, especially for those in the east and south. Places like the mid-Atlantic, southeast, and Texas might even feel like they've skipped ahead to spring. But don't pack away your winter gear just yet. In contrast, the northwest, northern Rockies, and northern plains are likely to experience a cold front. So for those in these regions, brace yourselves for some chilly days ahead. Now here's where it gets interesting. Around the middle of the month, we might see a major shift in weather patterns. The potential Greenland block could force the jet stream to dive south, bringing colder air into the east and south. So those early spring-like conditions, they could quickly turn into a freeze. And while all this is happening, the west coast could start to heat up, leading to a possible warm west, cold east scenario by the end of February. Remember, it's always best to be prepared for all possibilities when it comes to the weather. This February, be ready for some big swings and keep an eye on the forecast as these patterns develop. And there you have it, a look at the weather forecast for February 2025. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our weather updates. Until next time, stay warm, stay cool, and stay tuned.